Hi, this is Robert Evatt. So streaming video is becoming an increasingly common thing, and the good news is that you don't have to buy an expensive computer or a brand new TV in order to take advantage of it. There are some new boxes out now that'll allow you to stream a wide variety of things, and I've got a couple of the more common ones that you might see around. An Apple TV and a Roku box. So here is the Roku box. It retails for about $80. It's really a tiny little thing. There's not much room for stuff on here. It's wireless. It has room for an Ethernet connection, but you're pretty much going to need an HDMI port enabled in order to take advantage of this. It's also got a micro SD card if you want to show your own saved videos or pictures or things like that. As you can see, there's a variety of different channels here like Netflix, Amazon, all that stuff. But the real strength of Roku is the channel store, where you just have an absolutely ridiculous selection of channels to choose from. I mean, you've got all sorts of popular selections, and you've got things as obscure as, Seattle Community College television. It's really pretty amazing. You can even have some games on there like Angry Birds, of course, and things like that. Streaming is pretty easy. I mean, it's really just a matter of signing into your service and going. Like Netflix, I've already signed in, so all I have to do is hit the app, loads up relatively quickly, gets my queue up there, and you can even search and do recommendations. Let's see. Let's fire up Rango here real quick. And it buffers pretty quickly, so you're not going to be waiting too long. So, and there we go. Now the only real thing to keep in mind here is that a lot of these services are going to require an extra fee. Amazon, Netflix, even Hulu. You're not going to have access to the free version of Hulu. It's going to be Hulu Plus. You're going to have to pay for it. But if you don't mind getting a little more obscure, there's still plenty of paid options, so you could do that as well. And here is the Apple TV. Previous ones cost more, but this current version costs about $99, which isn't too bad at all. It's a little bigger than the Roku, but it's not humongous by any means. Again, you're pretty much going to be limited to HDMI unless you're one of the lucky people to have optical audio. But you're not going to be able to insert cards or anything into here. I mean, it's pretty much fairly limited, but start it up and it gives you to the Apple Store. This is the good thing about Apple is that, I mean, you can rent all kinds of movies, TV shows, music, things like that. It can also go onto the cloud and pick up the music that you have, or if your TV, if your computer is connected to a wireless network, then you'll be able to get all the stuff that is loaded up on iTunes. So that is a handy feature to have. It takes a little bit for things to load up, but here we go. Runs pretty quick. Now the big question is, well, what are the non-Apple options? Well, you've got these apps right here, Netflix, Hulu. You've got a fairly small selection, and surprisingly enough, that is pretty much it. You're not going to be able to download anything else, which is a little odd considering that Apple more or less invented the concept of the app. But hey, we work with what you get. The good news is that if you have an Apple computer, you can actually stream what is on your computer on the TV via the Apple TV, which is a really nice option to have. But again, you're going to need to have a Mac or a tab or an iPad to do it. As I suggested, both options have their strengths and weaknesses. Apple is well, you pretty much better be a fan of Apple, and the Roku box has a lot of apps on there, but less abilities to rent movies unless you dig into individual selections. But despite that, I think that both options are just far and away better than the default options that you'll get in many smart TVs and Blu-ray players, things like that. And considering they're less than $100, it's certainly not a bad investment at all.